Sergio, thanks for inviting us into the drawing room.
Thanks for stopping in.
So first of all, you got to tell me about the cocktail you just made for us.
So I just created a classic Manhattan cocktail for you. It's one of my favorite cocktails because it's simple, but there's so much flavor in there, and there's only 3 ingredients. There is aromatic bitters. We use Punta Mess sweet vermouth, which has a slight bitterness to it compared to your typical sweet vermouths. And then instead of your traditional bourbon, we used a rye whiskey, which is Templeton Rye.
Yeah. And you guys do some cool things with the ice cubes even.
Yeah, so our ice cubes, and the reason why we serve them in Manhattan on the Rocks is because our ice cubes, if you can see, it's a perfect cube and there's no oxygen trapped inside of it because there's a machine that freezes it in layers. Nice. Therefore, it's going to allow your cocktail to stay cool without actually watering it down too much.
Beautiful, beautiful. So the Manhattan is one of those classic drinks that we see across the country. It's a big, passion, bold drink. Do you find customers really going after this kind of drink, or are they experimenting some?
I feel within the last decade, there's definitely been a resurgence in the classic cocktails coming back. So you definitely do see a lot more simple stirred cocktails being called out versus maybe back in the 90s where people were more interested in having like lighter fruit-driven cocktails.
Right. As you know, Across the Bar is about mixology. So we talk all about the craziness of what you guys do behind the bar. So let's make something crazy.
All right.
It's on your menu, right?
It is. I'll go ahead and create one of the cocktails that's on our menu, which our menu changes seasonally. So the one that we have now reflects the springtime weather. So I'll go ahead and make a crazy one, as you call it, although we just consider it a normal cocktail.
Normal drink?
Yeah, this is how people drink, back in the 1800s, early 1900s. So we're actually just bringing back the art of the cocktail. So I'm going to create a cocktail on our menu, which we call the Red Bush. Threw in a little bit of citrus just to make it a little bit bright. I have created a cinnamon syrup, a little bit of a fruit-driven liqueur, which is Cointreau. And then I have also infused a scotch with some rooibos tea, just to add another element of kind of fruit notes to it. And then this one just gets finished off with a little bit of Peychaud bitters, which has a really nice kind of eucalyptus type of like Robitussin almost flavor. Cheers.
All right. Wow. From just
completely different
polar
cocktails.
opposites.
Yeah.
God, just so smooth.
If you take a look at our cocktail menu, it's relatively small. There's only about 12 to 14 cocktails on there at a time, and that's done intentionally. We don't want to overwhelm any of our guests with pages of cocktails. The ones that we have on there are completely different from one another, so there should be a cocktail on the menu for everyone. And if there isn't, we can always create someone a cocktail based on their own liking.
I'm kind of the experimental type.
Okay.
I like to try things that are interesting in the sense of throwing just some different flavors in.
Sure.
So let's say that I come to you, sitting down here, and we talk about citrus.
Okay.
Something with that base or has that feel to it, but a little bit more power.
Okay.
So a whiskey.
Okay.
So what would you do with that?
Well, I probably would ask one more question, see if there was any additional flavor that you'd want to incorporate with the citrus and whiskey.
Mint.
Mint, so something herbaceous.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can make something for you if you like.
Let's do it.
All right. Well, now I'm going to create you a cocktail that has the ingredients that you are in the mood for this evening. A little bit of mint for some nice herbaceousness. You said you wanted citrus in there,
Yeah.
so we're going to go ahead, just add some fresh lemon juice in there. A I'm gonna go ahead and use a little bit of simple syrup in there as well, just to cut a little bit of the tartness that might come from the lemon juice. A little bit of a yellow chartreuse, which is a liqueur that has some really nice kind of saffron and honey notes to it. And then, since you wanted a cocktail with a kick, I am going to use 107 proof bourbon in there.
Nice.
And just to add another element of aroma on there, I'm going to garnish it with a nice little mint spring.
Beautiful.
And here is your cocktail.
So do you find this a kind of a trend with customers coming in, wanting to try to do some new things?
Absolutely. I would say 50% of our guests will just give us flavors that they're in the mood for, and we can either recommend a cocktail that's on our menu or just create one for them, as I just did with this one.
We're going to call this one the ATB.
All right, I will put that on the summer menu. ATB.
ATB for across the bar. That's amazing. So Sergio, I mean, you've been in the business for a while. You're a master bartender. What got you into this thing?
I'm a people person. I like interacting with people. So I feel that bartending is a way of being able to create a culinary experience for guests on a one-on-one basis versus being a chef where, you know, you're in the back of the house, no one really gets to interact with you. So this way I meet new people every day and I give them alcohol and it makes them happy.
Yeah. Well, you know, this business is part craft, part creativity. You got to have a little bit of style and a lot of stamina because you guys go late.
We do, yes.
You know? So do you love it?
I love it. I mean, as anyone who has a deep passion for something would say, I mean, we feel we have the best job in the world.
Yeah, absolutely. Sergio, to you.
To you, thank you. Cheers.
Thanks for having us in here to the drawing room.
Thank you for coming by. You're more than welcome to take up our bar stools anytime.
Awesome.